Good afternoon, Mr. Sam. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. I'm fine.
Excellent. Good to hear that. It gives me great pleasure and honor to interview an icon in Montego Bay, or a stalwart in Montego Bay, one of the greatest entrepreneurs who has ever passed through the city of Montego Bay. Welcome to our program.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for the opportunity to be able to have a one-on-one discussion with you about your story and your life's journey. All right, let's get right into it. What community did you grow up in?
Wilshire. I was born in Montego Bay,
Okay.
but my parents then live in Wilshire, which is on your way to Anchovy. There's a road, turn off on your left. You go a distance up, and that is where I grew up with my grandparents,
Okay. Cool.
whose thing was mainly farming, raise animals, cows, goats, pigs, and farming and those things.
Okay. So were you one of those youngsters who just grew up on the farm and was properly fed and not get up early in the morning and dig deep and help out on the farm also?
My grandfather used to have worker,
Okay.
both male and female worker. So I didn't have to get up as early as them, but when I get up, I have to go to the field, depending on what they have to do. Sometime I might have to join in, sometime I leave that alone, stay at home, apart from going to school.
Okay. What was school like, or what school did you attend back in the day?
Anchovy was my main school.
Okay. Anchovy.
Anchovy. We usually have to walk a distance.
You call it distance, like a 10 minutes?
Could be that or more to get from where we live to the main road, and then another distance from the main road up to the school.
Okay.
So it would take us more than half an hour for sure.
Okay.
To get from home to school,
All right.
walking.
What was life like for you as a student at Anchovy?
I was an average student. I pay attention. If not, you would get a slap from the teacher. So you just have to pay attention to do whether it's going to be maths or reading or whatever it is. But I was an average student. I wasn't the brightest and I wasn't the most dull. I was an average person.
Would you consider yourself a troublemaker coming up through school?
No.
Didn't get into any problems, any disciplinary problems?
No. The one problem I would get caught in once in a while is talking.
Okay.
you would be punished for talking when, and sometimes they give you a chance. So if you do it a second time, you get into trouble.
Okay.
But except for that, no, I wasn't involved in any problem at school.
All right. So pretty much grew up in Wilshire, attended Anchovy. What was it at the time?
It was just an elementary school.
Anthony. Okay.
Where you have from the beginning, there's two school joined together. From one class from A to whatever, and then from there you'll go to the higher classes and so on.
Okay.
It was an average.
All right. So would you say you spent pretty much all your childhood life in Wilshire?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. When I left Wilshire was when I was up in my teens.
Okay.
And the higher teens too. And came to Montego Bay to live with my mother, who were in Albion at the time.
Okay.
And
all right. After Anchovy, in terms of schooling, did you go to any other school after Anchovy?
Yes, I went to what was known as oh my God, I'll tell you in a moment. There was a school where a teacher who taught at Northwestern left and opened her school. I'm trying to remember the name of it, up Albion. It's near to, if you go up King Street side, it's close to King's Chapel.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember the name of the school. But anyway, I spent a while there. working at Casa Montego
Okay.
and doing class over there certain time of the day and so on. I remember I reached a point where I was supposed to do tests for what you call it now, accounting, and there was a clash between the school. There was a mix-up with going to work at certain time and doing the test at certain time.
Okay.
But I was advised by a teacher, go on to your work. We can set your exam for another time.
Okay.
And so, but then that other time never come.
Okay. All right. You mentioned working a while ago at Casa Montego. It was.
Yes.
Was that your first job?
Yes, that was my first really job. Yes.
At what age you started working? We drag in your memory a bit.
I at that time I was like about just about 20 years old.
20 years old. Okay. All right.
And I start there. It was a start for me.
All right. What was you? Can you recall the position you started in?
All right. I want to tell you a little more than you asked there.
Sure, no problem.
I want the job. First, I want to go in dining room where I wear black pants, white jacket,
Yeah.
and I was asked a question at the interview. How many pieces of so I want waiter work.
Yes.
And the question was asked, how many pieces of silver you set for dinner?
Mm-hmm.
I'm accustomed to where I grew up, the home I grew up in, a knife, a fork, a spoon.
Yes. 3.
Good. So I told them 3 and they said, no. You're not qualified for dining room work or as a waiter.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked the question, how long will it take me? He said, you'd have to start in another department. How long will it take me to get to dining room? He said, depending on how fast you can learn.
Yes.
Maybe 3 months or so. I'll take it, sir.
Yeah. As simple as that.
So I went in the kitchen and I worked from there and worked my way to dining room.
In the kitchen as a chef?
No, I wasn't a chef. They wanted to teach me chef work, but the heat and what have you was not my friend.
Okay.
So I do a little, and sometimes wash dishes.
Okay.
But right. I want to go to the dining room.
That was your objective?
Yes.
All right.
And I got through with it.
How long after starting did you get to dining room?
I'm positive it's more than 3 months.
Okay.
But I got out there.
Fine.
Excellent. And I got the outfit I wanted and so on.
Was it the uniform you were attracted to more than anything else?
That was one, and I understand you get tips from it and so on. The first day I went, I had to do the evening. I had to do a room service.
Okay.
And I came back.
Mm-hmm.
The cashier asked me, knowing that it was my first trip up to the room, yes. Did you get a tip? I say, no. But when he looked at the card that they signed, he said, yes, man. You have a tip on this, man. Okay. And I was elated because...
Okay, so you didn't know that you got a tip?
No.
Okay.
But when he pointed out to me and told me what to look for in the future,
yes.
Then because I thought the thing would mean if you're going to give me $3 or whatever.
You're going to put it in your hand?
Right.
Yes.
But it was on the...
Credit card?
Yes, and the thing, the card to check, for him to check.
Okay. All right. How long did you work at Casa Montego?
For about 4 years or thereabout.
4 years?
About 4 years.
How was the journey there?
It was... I like it, and I learn a lot from it.
Okay.
And I learned one thing, to be courteous.
Excellent.
Because if you didn't give good service to the guests,
you wouldn't get a tip.
You wouldn't get a tip.
Okay.
You would get just your basic pay.
Yes.
So I learned a lot from that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
okay.
Everything was.
Did you stay in the dining room for all your tenure there?
For the rest of the time, yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
All right. And what did you move on to when you left Casa Montego?
I went to another industrial garage.
Okay.
As a counter clerk,
Okay.
where we sell parts.
Mm-hmm.
We sell to the public, and we deliver parts to the workshop at the back of the building,
Okay.
to the mechanics and so on around there. So that went on well, but in between that time, I was doing a little photo business.
Okay. All right. Photo.
Mm-hmm.
All right. How you got started in photography? Or what piqued your interest in photography?
I was a little astonished by the fact that you use a camera, you click, you get it print, and when you look, the person take a picture smiling as they might want to be, and or whatever. And there was a female who was going on to a teacher's college, and she stopped overnight for a weekend in Montego Bay, and it was a friend of mine, and I asked if she could lend me her camera,
Okay.
until she come down the next holiday, she get it. And she said, sure. I start to take every and anything. A dog, a person who just walk up, I don't care who. And then what I had to do, I didn't buy the camera, so all I had to do is to buy film and pay to process.
Yes.
Then within a little time I realized I'll have to, when my friends, like I started when I was at the hotel,
Yes.
and when they want a photograph, they say, James, go and take a shot of me at the poolside or something. And all I asked for is enough to make up and buy back a roll of film and pay to clean.
Yes.
I wasn't looking at profit.
Profit at the time?
No, at the time, no.
It's just something you fell in love with?
Right.
Yes.
And that went on. She came next holiday, she took her camera, gone. I need a camera. The guys out at the hotel who used to take picture for us saying, what happened, man? Buy one camera. I went to the manager at Casa Montego before I left there.
Yes.
I saw a camera across from number 1 post office.
Okay.
Upstairs. Frank Meir, you might have heard the name.
I've heard the name. Yes.
Good. He used to cover all important events this side of the island.
Okay.
From here back to St. Ann. And there was a camera in his showcase for £7, 12 shilling and 6 pence. I couldn't find £7, 12 and 6. So I went to my manager and I asked him to lend me the money to buy the camera and take it back from my salary on a weekly basis.
Yes.
Maybe 5 shilling a week, whatever it was. And he loaned me. And I went out. My then girlfriend's sister, who happened to be my sister-in-law then, said when she heard the story that I borrowed £7, 12 and 6 to buy a camera, she said, then she came to me and said, James, you couldn't give me the £7, 12 and 6, let me put it to good use for you, but you can buy a camera with it.
Oh boy.
And I start from there and I never look back when it comes to photography until I left Casa Montego to Northern Industrial Garage.
Yes.
And I've been taking it and decide that even Northern Industrial Garage utilize my service to sell cars. Before the bypass road and thing was at Flanker.
Yes.
Was built put in place at Flanker. They put cars on some stone like you're going to turn over, and I have to take picture of it.
Yes, yes.
And then they give it to the newspaper.
Okay.
And that was a thing where every now and then they call me to do something, although I was working there.
Yes.
But I give them pictures that they were satisfied with.
Yes. So instead of getting it outside, they had somebody internally who could handle it and give them the same quality as if they outsourced it. All right. So it's quite a journey from Casa Montego, being a waiter, pretty much. That's where you started.
Well, you'd call it at first, you'd call it a bus boy.
Bus boy.
Which is a junior waiter.
Yes. Can you recall how long you worked at NIG? Because you were taking photographs on the side, while at the same time you were working at the garage.
At another industrial garage, but not in the garage department.
No man. At the garage.
Yes. We worked I worked there for like about 4 years plus.
4 years. So you did 4 years at Casa Montego.
Thereabout.
And then another 4 years at Northern Industrial Garage.
Mm.
All right.
My reason for leaving NIG.
Yes.
I remember I was a friend of mine, an Indian guy born in India but married to a Jamaican. We were talking and he was saying he's contemplating going back to India, which is a far more industrialized place than Jamaica, and he could pick up a job easier. He was a diesel expert.
Yes.
I said to him over the drink, the same thing is happening to me now or something similar. And I look at a mango tree and say, see that tree over there? We can see the amount of mangoes that are on this side. But we can see the amount of mango on the other side.
Yes.
So if any mango around there or not, we don't know. And that is why I don't leave NIG to go set up a little studio for myself and so.
Yes.
Within a time of about 2 weeks thereafter, that time I was living at McCatty Street.
Okay.
And I was going to work at Union Street. That was NIG work, Northern Industrial Garage.
Yes.
So I didn't have a car or anything, so I walked down McCatty Street and go Hart Street and on. But when I reached a few chains from the house, rain started to drizzle. So I turned back and rushed back in the house and half wet. So I changed my clothes, ready to go again. Rain came down, not for long, for a few minutes. Soon as it hold up, I was on my way to work. When I reached work on Union Street, the then manager, Mr. Dyer, said to me, he called me Mr. James all the time. Mr. James, the company won't have any more of this. This kind of thing where you guys walk in here at much o'clock at night. I attempt to tell him about the rain
Yes.
that caused me to be late. And he took a decision. But the fact that I was behind, it only pushed me a little faster. So I remember saying to him and say, go to the accountant, he will work out your salary or any entitlement you have. We never have no union or anything like that. And I asked him, I said, but Mr. Dyer, now that you find a fault with me, it would be foolish to ask you for a recommendation. He said, no, I can give you a recommendation. He instructed one of the females in the office to type me a letter, his secretary. And the letter have on it that he worked here for how many years and he left to seek a more lucrative employment. I was a little surprised and said to her, look in the dictionary and tell me what lucrative means.
Yes.
And I said, a better job. I said, well, why am I have to tell a lie for me? If him find fault and fire me.
Yes.
Anyway, I took it, I tell him thanks, and I left there. And I just start with the photo thing. I start off with a thing where I put up a drip, pull drip thing where I can put the bed and sleep over there. And I can take the picture over this side.
Okay. So it was a home studio.
It's a home
You
studio.
lived there.
Yes.
And you operated a studio
Yes.
from home on McCatty Street.
Yes.
Okay, great.
And that went on until a new landlord who does live up the road here from me
Yes.
bought the place, and I tell him I need to speak to him. I took him around the back and I said, you have enough space here. Could you put up a bedroom around here? And what would be a kitchen there? And I could, use that kitchen now as my dark room.
Yes.
But when I leave, it would be kitchen for the next tenant.
Yes.
And he looked at it and said, not a bad idea, I think about it. And I got back a response on him not too long after to say, I'm going to do that. Yes. So, and this is where I really
Started.
and
Okay.
follow that route until.
Okay. In terms of a timeline, though, are you able to state what year you actually started your home studio at McCatty Street?
1967.
67.
That was when I got fired at NIG,
Yes.
at the Industrial Garage,
Okay.
and I go start up my thing
Start
there.
your own home studio.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's McCatty Street. How long did you operate your studio from that location?
I operated there until from 67 until 1972, the latter part of 72. I set up, I rent a place at 7 St. James Street, upstairs.
At the corner of Quick Street.
Quick Street and St. James Street.
Okay.
And I operate there until 1979.
So 72 to 79. Okay.
When I got that place in a little surprise, but I wouldn't bother put this on. You know, we were talking. A fellow living in Chicago came out and usually come and look for me. His father was a businessman around town. He passed on. While we were there talking, a female came and saw a 3-piece bath mat set. And I said, Mr. Salmon, I never know you sell these two. And last week, me and my friend so and so go to Kingston. Now we said, look at the price. $30 for the set of 3. $30. Now we go to Kingston and pay $35 for the same thing, same brand. At that point, you know, she said she have to tell her friend about it. So after she left, I said to the guy who came to look for me, the problem is I'm upstairs. If I was on a ground floor,
yes, it make a difference.
Make a big difference.
Yes.
Many of my supporters, only when, apart from the photo part,
yes,
but when they want things to buy a store, and especially when they want credit, then find a way up here.
Yes.
Other than that, you don't see them.
Yes. Okay.
At the time, your mother was coming from downtown. And when I talk about the space downtown, she said, then why not you know, say Mr. Walcott moving out? I said, Mr. Walcott moving? Say, yes. I look in the directory, find Mr. Walcott's number, call him right away, and ask him if the place is for rent. And he said, maybe, but you'd have to speak to Mrs. So-and-so in Kingston who work with the Issa brothers.
Yes.
She's the one who is in control. Could you give me the number, please? He gave it to me. I called. The lady said, yes, I could call Mr. Walcott and tell him that you're coming to look at it. So when you look at it and so on after I show you, then you can call me back. So I called Mr. Walcott and tell him, said the lady, say I can look at it. He said, yes, she does talk to me. Mm-hmm. So I'm coming down there now to look at it. So me and your mother went down. And when we reached there, Mr. Walcott was in the whole one, moving out his things and giving instruction for them to take it over the new location. It involved 2 floors, the ground floor and the one above, where the upper one was occupied with tailors and dressmaker.
Okay.
So Mrs. Eunice called to talk to Mr. Walcott. Mr. Walcott said, yes, Mrs. Eunice, he's right here. Mm-hmm. Let me talk with him. Mr. Salmon, have you seen the place? Yes, Mrs. Eunice. So what do you decide? I'm going to take it, Mrs. Eunice. We don't go upstairs yet. Your mother pulled my shirt, tail and black. Said, how you feel if you go down? You don't even go upstairs, go see what I look like it. Say, yes, Mrs. Eunice, I'm going to take it.
Right away.
Right away.
And the opportunity passed.
After I got the place, Ken Essen, we used to have the record shop on Church Street.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember the name of the guy. He was further down St. James Street. And 1x1 Fit. 3 to 4 people call me fast within days, yes, to ask me if we can rent them piece side. They say, no, you can get a piece upstairs, but not downstairs.
Not downstairs.
Eh-eh.
You have big plans for downstairs.
What do you, man? But people were running away from Jamaica at the time.
Yes.
And that's how I come to be fortunate enough to
To
get
get the
there.
opportunity.
Yes. You know,
Being in the right place at the right time, making the right call,
Lord have mercy.
and just being blessed overall.
Yes.
I mean, it's not luck. It just happened for a reason. Things just started to fall into place. When it's your time, it's just your time.
Your time.
Okay.
So knowing that the nail service slow, I write a check for the first rent. And at the same time trying to figure out how to get enough money to get into the bank.
to cover the check.
Cover the check.
Yes.
But I want it, you know.
Yes.
Thank God and thank God.
Just a massive leap of faith.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
All right. So, essentially, you're saying, other than photography, you also were into household items.
Yes.
Did they start from McCatty Street or just at
Just St. James Street.
Okay.
And not 7 St. James Street either. 32 St. James Street. Having gotten the place
Yes.
and trying to figure out how to do what, because I didn't know, I was going to a field that I didn't know about. The blenders,
Yes.
the sheet sets. No, well, first of all, I start with clothing. Men and women clothing.
At 32 St. James Street?
At 32 St. James Street.
Okay. You were giving a story a while ago about the $30 for the bathroom set, or it was a sheet set.
Bathroom set.
Bathroom set.
Mat set.
Where the lady found one in Kingston at 30, purchased one at 35, but yours was at 30. Was that at 7 St. James Street?
7 St. James Street.
So you actually started, other than your studio?
Yes.
Because you just said 32 St. James Street. So it actually started from 7 St. James
A
Street.
place was at Overton Plaza known as Stanley's Home Products.
Yes.
I used to go there and buy some things. And but I was buying it through that source.
Yes.
And sell it back to the public. Yes. But then I get in touch in Kingston with the people who manufacture that.
Okay. So you got a direct link
Yes.
to the manufacturer.
Yes.
Not a third party.
And the salesman came down and stopped by me, and I never forget his name, Daly. I remember what Daly name. And when I go to Kingston, he took me to his boss, one Morgan at whatever the place was. And he introduced me as a customer from Montego Bay, and he's going to start buy from us. And he gave me a price and said, if you buy so and so, we can give you that price, and we start the business. So I would go up to Kingston and buy my things and bring down. When I'm having sale those days, I used to go up and I send down one of them small truck with merchandise, and I put them at a reduction. Yes. And I draw a crowd with it. And it turns out that after a while, when you notice something that sells fast, you say, all right, 20% off this, and so on and so on, and this goes on. And it takes me no time. It takes me no time to build up a relationship with the public. I'll never forget a woman went to a place. I used to go to St. James Place, I think it is in Kingston on the road, and buy handbags. And that man he would only sell local after he fulfill his Caribbean orders.
Yes.
And I remember going there, talk to the boss, talk to the son, and say, what happened to this? We can't get some of this. He say, well, this we have to fill up the order, you know. But when you fill the order, we tell them to do a few extras. And when you're coming back up here, me tell him, and he say, I save a few for you. And I go and I get them and come down. And on one occasion, Billy Holiday, or it was not directly across, adjoining Scotiabank.
Yes.
When the salesman came down to sell Billy Holiday, there was a woman who was working there known as Miss Mac. And she come over and she look at me show windows on a daily basis. And she tell her boss not to buy them because someone carried them about 2 or 3 times already. I go up there, me can't buy for him quantity.
Yes.
But for me, if me buy 3 of that, 2 of that, whatever, and come down, and it sell.
Yes.
So when he reach down here, she tell the boss, say, no buy. So then send him back. So they,
Get stale already.
yes. So the salesman hang up and tell him boss say, no pay no mind because Mr. Salmon come at Kingston come get what he want, Professor.
Simple.
Them wait down there till he come
Till you come to them. So that way you always outpace them, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Excellent. Have you ever had any formal training in entrepreneurship?
No.
After your anchovy days, and then you came to Montego Bay, Albion, you said.
So the school was St. Paul United.
St. Paul
yes.
United. Okay. Have
Yeah,
you ever
St.
gone
Paul,
to
I
any
think so.
formal school since, other than probably some short courses here and there?
No.
Do you have a degree in entrepreneurship or
No.
in management?
No.
Masters?
Mm.
No. All right, fine. So where would you attribute all the skill sets that you have? Where did you gain the knowledge, the experience to be such a business savvy minded person?
My grandfather was not a businessman. He as I say, he does
Farming.
farming
Mhm.
and things like those, and plant fruit trees. Film land and valley is full of fruit trees. One thing he wasn't very popular in his area for, when he tell the people, there was a saying from when I was a boy that goat mouth poison.
Mhm.
And when the goat come eat anything in plant, so them sometimes they not strive too well after. So he would stay on the hill and say, people put up them goat, but then don't hear.
Yes.
So he have a long gun, and he with a goat and shoot one of them. And then say, come pick up on a dead goat. And for the next much week, no goat no come at the farm.
Yes, yes.
You understand? Some understand, some didn't understand.
Mhm.
But it was from then you said to yourself, how can I? He had what was known as, it was sold to him as 30 acres.
30, okay.
But that 30 was nowhere near. Apparently, it was unestimated.
Yes.
Because when he sell it to a lawyer man, Jad McFarlane, one of his son, one was a lawyer, one was a doctor. And he sell it to the lawyer one, and then they swap him some land in Westmoreland. In fact, they gave him a nice house, piece of land, cross the road, piece of property again with a river run through it.
Okay.
And when you leave that, you could drive for about a mile to mile and a half, to another place where you have whole heap of land. Excuse me, where then do farming and things. So, but he was a man who always wanted to live and lift his head a little above the average man. You know, in other words, it was I think
Your inspiration?
Yes.
Was that your inspiration?
Yes.
Your motivation? From there you said, I want to emulate this type of philosophy. I wanted to excel. I wanted to do well. And you had no excuse.
No.
You made no excuse. You just always find a way. That's very commendable. Very commendable.
One of the things I will never forget, donkeys, him have one horse where he would ride.
Yeah.
The horse was sick. Them waiting on their father was one of the agricultural man who would come and look at the farm and look and advise him what to do and so.
Yes.
And the day, as I said, the horse was sick, and the guy could tell him, said the horse looked like him not going to make it, sir. So he decided to hurry, leave what I'm doing and go look for the horse. When he go there, the horse raised his head. And when he go up to it, the horse put his head in my hand, closing eyes, and that was it.
Yeah. All right. This is what it is.
The horse conk out.
Yeah.
So it was a joke to some people that boy he was waiting to say goodbye.
Bye. Yeah. All right. In terms of photography now, you said it was what? 72? You're at 32 St. James Street? Or 79?
No, man. 67. Come again.
No, man. St. James Street.
St. James. Okay. Hey.
What year? 70?
Where we left?
Yeah,
last?
you left 7 St. James Street
Right.
to 32 St. James Street.
Mm.
What year was that you made that transition?
What year? 79.
79?
When we had some serious flooding.
Okay.
That we even drive from here with the mother and others go to St. Elizabeth.
Yes.
It was a serious disaster. Okay. When you go to a lot of Boga and see people, you see man wash out of his house, part of him down there, so whatever tree going through the window of the house, part of it out there, It was something that we can't forget.
Yes.
That was a disaster.
All right.
June of 1979.